Yo, what's up guys? It's me, Jaycee Barba, and welcome back to my channel. Happy Valentine's Day sa inyo guys.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Valentine's ba? So anyways guys, today, for today's video, gusto ko naman guys ng iba naman i-react natin. Hindi lang tayo puro music or puro movie reactions or anything. So ngayon guys, I want to react naman guys sa mga eventful or mga maybe true to life story na mga ganon. Kasi guys, it's Valentine's, so syempre ayoko naman ng mga content na about love, about harot-harot, about jowa, ganyan, sana all, hashtag sana all. So ngayon guys, mag-react tayo guys sa mga sa 3 real date night horror stories. So guys, anong oras na ngayon? Yan, sa mga di pa nakakaalam guys, it's 1 AM na guys ngayon. So, saktong Valentine's Day na ngayon. So, February 14. Pakita natin talaga na ang totoo na
12:58 nga.
12:58 na. So, 12:50. Okay, magawa na rin pala. So, yun. Tapos, yun lang. Pilang Valentine's. So, yun. Pilang na trip namin guys gumawa ng content na magre-react ng gabi ng mga 3 real date night horror stories. So, guys, nakuha ko tong video na to kay I forgot the name, Mr. Nightmare. So, yun. Gumagawa siya ng mga ganong content. So, you guys might want to check it out. Pero syempre guys, iba pa rin guys kung may magre-react na kasama nyo, di ba? Na habang nag-watch ng mga ganito. So, let's before we dive in, na-introduce ba kita?
Hindi pa.
Ay,
Sino ba ako?
so, it's Barba. Syempre, lagi mo kasama. Parang napapadalas ang pag-react mo dito sa,
WhatsApp.
Kasama mo lagi ako. Lagi na lang kita kasama sa channel na to. But anyways, let's dive in dun sa video.
My older sister Jen is 5 years older than me, and this story also happened 5 years ago. Before Jen was dating her current boyfriend, she used Tinder to meet a few guys. I remember the night specifically. She told me and our other sister Maria that she was meeting a guy at a bar a few blocks down. When she got there, she sat at the bar and texted the guy to let him know where she was sitting. Under a minute passes and a man sits next to her, offering to buy her a drink. This man is significantly older than my sister, and according to her, gave off a horrible smell, had bad breath, and had a crooked front tooth. She told him no thank you right away, as she had a guy coming to meet her. The man didn't get up just yet. He kept sitting there, said he'd buy her a drink in the meantime before her date got there. Jan felt very uncomfortable and asked the man to please leave her alone. The man got up from the bar stool. Jan told us she did a side glance to see where the man had gone, and she said he sat at one of the nearby table booths. Jan texted her date about what just happened and asked him to please hurry. There wasn't a response, so she sits there a few minutes, texts again, "Where are you?" This time the guy responds, "Running late, get a drink or two without me." Now, this was an odd text for a guy to send to a girl he's meeting, and to make it even worse, the man from before came back to sit next to Jan, asking where her date was and acting all upset that she was still alone. My sister responded to the man once or twice, then had enough and asked him to please leave her alone once again. She texted her date one more time, saying, "Sorry, I'm gonna leave." And as she sent it, the man's phone, which she left on the bar, vibrated. My sister immediately put 2 and 2 together and said she's going to the bathroom. I remember she called our sister Maria asking what to do. Maria told her just leave and drive home. I listened in on the conversation. When Jan left the bathroom, the man was no longer anywhere to be seen in the bar, which I'm sure she found to be a relief. She went straight to her car and started driving home. It's a very linear and short path from that bar, and she was home in probably a couple minutes. When she pulled up in the driveway and started walking to the front door, she noticed another car pull up across the street. It didn't stop directly in front of the house across the street. It stopped one house over. Jan came inside, and from here on, I can tell the story from my own point of view. Maria and I came to greet Jan and ask her what happened. She went to the window and creased the blinds to look outside. She told us there was a car out there before, and she was worried we followed her. But when all three of us looked through the blinds, we didn't see a car out there. So she told us the unsettling story of what happened at the bar. Maria did a better job at comforting her than I. Girl thing, I guess. I did tell her that if that man ever stepped foot near her again, I'd kick his ass. Later on, we all went to our rooms and did our own thing. I was playing Far Cry 4 on my computer when I heard the horrible sound of both my sisters screaming. Now let me shift back to Jan's perspective for a second. She was on her phone in bed when she got a text from that number. It said, "Hey, I'm so sorry, I didn't see your text until I got to the bar." Jan didn't answer that, so he sent a follow-up text saying, "I'm gonna meet you at your house. Which window is yours?" Jan called Maria to come to her room to look at the text. As they talked for a little bit, figuring out what to do, Jan's window slid open, and someone tried pushing their way through the roller shade. That was when both Maria and Jan screamed, causing not only me, but our parents from upstairs to come rushing to her room. The man trying to come in gave up before we even made it to the room. Our dad went outside to try and chase after the man, but he was already long gone in his car probably. Of course, my dad called the cops to get a police report. Jen gave the police the man's cell phone number, and they took records of the text conversation. They said they were going to do what they could to trace the number, though it could take a few days. My dad was contacted after the weekend by the local police station, and they asked him to come in. At the station, they said they traced the number to be a fake number through some app, and that there was no guarantee they could trace the use back to a specific phone. My dad asked them to do whatever they could. Weeks passed and we never heard from the police, but we all slowly started to forget about it. You can never really understand people's motives and how they think they'll get away with some things, like climbing into a girl's window, for instance.
Pero,
So,
alam mo ang bahay niya, di ba?
eh, na kayo nadedetect.
I've been using the app Hinge to meet new people in the town I just recently moved to. I matched this girl, Kitty. She was about 7 years older than me. Yeah, I know, a bit of a gap. She's 30, I'm 23. It was my idea to meet her at some small restaurant in town. I waited in my car in the parking lot for her to pull up. For some reason, she was having trouble finding the place. She asked me to start sharing my location with her. After doing so, she shortly after pulled up in some lemon of a car, old beater Honda.
Babae naman yun.
I actually felt a sense of disappointment when I saw it was her stepping out of it. I went out to hug her hello. She said she wasn't a hugger though, so I shamefully put my arms back down. Bad start, I was thinking in my head. When we sat down at a table inside, I was able to see that she looked different from her pictures. Worse, like she was the girl in the pictures, sure, but it seemed as though she had her pictures doctored up to make her look better. She also looked to be older than 30. I was already not feeling this date, but I couldn't just end it now. I'd have to sit through the dinner with her. When the waitress came to start us off with drinks, Kate was really awkward. Like the way her voice suddenly raised in volume and intensity as she spoke to the waitress. She stuttered as she kind of rudely said she just wanted water. She turned down my offer for wine. So I went through the whole dinner with her, and in my head I was really just thinking about how excited I was to get out of there. The check came, and I waited to see if she'd make any offer to chip in for it since I really had no plans of seeing her again. But she did not, so I paid the check and we grabbed our coats and left. I told her I had a really nice time and whatever. It seemed she didn't really want to go home though. I had to kind of force myself to break off because I really just wanted to go home. I said bye and got in my car. She didn't say bye back. She instead just walked to her car. I drove home to my apartment, which is the lower half of someone's house. I didn't even finish hanging up my coat before the doorbell rang. I checked through the window who it could be, and it was Kate. I hadn't stopped sharing my location with her. What could she want? I hadn't forgotten anything at the restaurant. And even if I had, she could have texted me. It was then that I realized this woman might actually be nuts. I walked away from the door and hid in the kitchen with the lights off. I got a text from Kate saying, "I know you're home." I replied, "What do you want? Why are you here?" She texted back, "Answer." I didn't answer that time. I stayed in the kitchen and waited there for a while, until she texted again, saying, "I see you at the table. Let me in now." She knew I was sitting there. She could see me. In a panic, I looked at all the windows, till I saw the one. It was one of the backyard windows, where I hadn't lowered the shade all the way down. And through that little opening at the bottom, I saw her eyes creeping in. Freaking out, I went to my room and stayed in there with the lights off, while I called 911 to report a trespassing. I had the call on speakerphone so I could read the insane text Kate was sending me. One of her texts said, "Nobody wants me, I'm sick of it." Another said, "You're just like the others." Then I heard the sound of glass being broken outside my room. I ran to lock my bedroom door and told the operator that she was breaking into my house. The woman on the line said to wait in my room and grab something to use as a weapon. She said the cops would be there shortly. He tried the doorknob to my room, and when it wouldn't open, started pounding angrily, yelling for me to open up. I told the 911 operator to send the cops in through the back, as that was how she broke in. Luckily, this town seems to have a fast 911 response time, because cops were there in minutes. 3 cop cars, actually. I heard the cops talking with her, telling her to calm down. That was when I opened the door to see 4 cops around her, with her being already in cuffs. She was taken away and charged with breaking and entering and some other charges. I had the option to take her to civil court for damages to my property, but the time and lawyer fees would be more than the cost to just fix the window, so that's what I did. I did get a restraining order against Kate, though, who I later learned her real name was actually Pamela Castillo.
Sorry.
It was my first date with a girl from an online dating website. I offered to have her over and cook for her. I'd been out of the dating scene for a long time, since I recently broke up with my girlfriend at the time. The woman's name was Amelia. She was 26. I was 32 at the time. I didn't really think having her over for dinner before meeting her was weird. If anything, it would be more relaxed and comfortable than meeting at some bar or restaurant. I was cooking some penne alla vodka with garlic bread and wine, my favorite combo. Amelia arrived around 6:30. I welcomed her in and asked her to take a seat at one end of the kitchen table. I was finishing up the food as I tried to get to know her. She wasn't as talkative as I was expecting based on her appearance. I had to lead most of the conversation. I was slightly nervous given that it was my first time having a first date in years, and it didn't help that she wasn't exactly the easiest to talk to. I served her a plate of food and a glass of wine. Then she asked something odd. She wanted me to go get a candle so that we could have a proper cheers. I had nothing else to say but to go along with it. I left the kitchen to the pantry closet in the hallway to get one of the candles and a lighter. When I came back to the kitchen, I spotted Amelia sitting back down, like very quick-like. It looked kind of sketchy. "Everything okay?" I asked. To which she replied she just had to rinse her hands. Odd, because I didn't hear the sink run. But I moved past it and lit the candle. Then we did a little cheers. I was about to take a sip of my wine when I noticed something floating in the glass, something that wasn't in it before. It looked like a powdery substance being dissolved into the wine. I watched as she looked at me, not taking a sip of my wine. I pretended to take a sip and nervously continued conversation. I was assuming the worst, that she tried to drug me, but I couldn't just accuse her of that. What if I was wrong? I'd look crazy. We ate our food, and I cleaned up the table afterwards. She excused herself to the bathroom, which I pointed her to. She was gone for a while, but when she came back, she said she had to get going because her dog was sick. I had no problem with her leaving. I walked her out and hugged her goodbye. I went back to the glass of wine and smelt it, but it didn't smell like anything except wine. I dumped it and made sure nothing was stolen from the kitchen, to the hallway, to the bathroom. After cleaning, I watched TV while telling my friends that I think she tried to drug me. Then I went to sleep. Actually, I didn't sleep. I have acute insomnia, which comes on and off. And this was one night I just couldn't get shut-eye. I rolled from one side of the bed to the other for hours. And it must have been like 2:30 or something when I heard a cup fall from the kitchen. That terrified me because, well, cups are pretty stationary objects. I didn't see why or how one could have fallen from the counter. Suddenly my door opened and someone stepped inside. I didn't move. I pretended to be asleep, but with one eye half open. Someone stood in front of the doorway for a few seconds, then left the room. I waited a minute before getting up to follow and hopefully get the kitchen phone to call the police. There was a glimmer of light in the living room from the street light outside. With that, I was able to see her body in the corner of the room. She wasn't ducking, nothing. She was just idly staying in place. "Amelia," I said, afraid of what would happen next. She was standing by the knife holder. "Amelia, if you leave right now, I won't call the cops." There was this awful, chilling silence before she put something back on the counter, walked to the back door, and exited. What she put back on the counter turned out to be a knife. When she left, I locked the door first thing, of course. I think when she asked to use the bathroom, she unlocked the back door with plans of returning. This was after her plan to drug me failed. Of course, I called the police, and they took the knife for fingerprints. Based off her criminal background, police later showed up to Amelia's house and arrested her. I did not press charges.
Makakatulog siya, di ba?
Oo,
Tapos ano yung tapos kukuha na ng knife yung babae, tapos sasaksakin siya. Tapos
Yeah.
after na, naalis, tatakas sa locked door.
Ikaw, out of dun sa tatlong, natahimik tayo pareho. Kasi very kung real nga, sabi nga kasi real daw. Nakakaano no, ang siguro naman guys, yung mga mahilig mag-Tinder dyan, or mag-dating app, baka naman guys, siguro naman, di ba, magkaroon kayo ng konting
Pag-iingat.
yes,
Patulad
pag-iingat.
ko, ay, gumagamit ako nun eh.
Yeah, konting pag-iingat lang guys na maging maging more on ang tawag doon? Sensitive. Ay, hindi. Tama. Maging more on mapagmatsyag lang. Don't always
Don't trust.
oo. Siguro ako, pwede ka rin naman makipagkita or makipag-meet up. Basta just don't siguro kung makipag-meet up ka dun sa crowded place.
Yung maraming tao.
Yeah, yung maraming tao.
Hindi yung tulad ng bar na only lang.
Yeah. Or
Kaya yung sa bahay.
sa bahay.
Ba't matagalan to?
Bahay agad, oo.
Dapat sa lang. Like,
Kasi you don't know you don't know what are they capable of, so you need to be more careful.
sa kung ano yung iniisip nila.
Yung katulad niya, yung mga iba, like out of that 3 story, ano yung mas creepy for you?
Para sa akin ang creepy yung huli. Kasi
Yung pagbukas
hindi
niya,
ko-
yung parang
Para ka talagang patay.
oo, yeah.
Na parang
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
Ang
hindi
Bluetooth.
kasi natin.
Patay na naman. Takot.
Basta yun, yung kasi diba,
Pakita ka po sa camera.
meron ba ako?
Dito.
Ayun, kasi diba dito.
Kaya mo yan.
Ayun, yung una kasing story, parang stalker na sumunod sa bahay. Actually, lahat sila creepy.
Actually, yeah.
Sumunod sa bahay, ay parang hindi nagpakita. Tapos biglang sumulpot na alam yung bahay sa yung location niya, di ba? Na yung balak pa mag-trespass dun sa kanila. Tapos yung sa to naman, weird rin yung babae kasi parang sa sobrang marami nang nag-reject sa kanya. Parang naging siya, aggressive na parang, ba't di mo ako mahal? Papasukan mo ako, parang ganon. Na which is, pwede rin, creepy rin. Tapos pero yung huli talaga yung tipong creepy na na nakakatakot pa. Kasi, I mean, creepy na weird, ganun. Kasi, yung tipong parang nagde-date kayo, tapos parang iniisip mo na ito na ba siya? This is the one na ba? Tapos ang nasa isip niya, ano kaya papatayin to? Ganun. Tapos, as in lahat ng ginawa niya, planado na eh. Na parang, pag alis na ito, lagi yung pill. Pag nainom na ito, mga ilang minutes, babalik ako, sigurado tulog na to. Tapos pagbalik niya, di ba, chinek niya talaga yun kung tulog ba eh. Tapos kung tulog, tingin ko kung gising yan, tatakas agad siya eh. Pero nung pag-akit niya, kasi nang nakita niya yung tulog, mini-make sure niya, tapos umalis na siya, diba? Tapos pag-alis niya, nandun siya sa kitchen, diba? So kung nagkataon na nainom niya talaga yun, tapos nakatulog siya, nakakumuha na ng knife yun, tapos bumalik sa kanya, tapos sasaksakin siya na...
So in short, yung pinaka-creepiest is yung number 3. So yun, ako rin same. Ako, yun lang, medyo ang creepy nga lang na gano'n. So yun lang guys, mag-iingat kayo and hopefully itong napanood natin as mga nanonood ngayon is maging lesson to na wag lahat kumbaga maging
wag masyadong magtitiwala.
Don't trust anyone because it might really harm you and it might ruin your career, your life.
Saka don't let your guard down kahit anong mangyari. Kasi yung tipong
safeguard.
Baka sabihin mo parang hindi ako mag-ano dito. Let down yung guard ko dito kasi ganito, baka love ko na to, tapos kaso biglang di mo alam eh kung ano yung isip ng tao, saka kung ano yung
So yun guys, sana na Valentine's Day, mga mahilig mag-Tinder dyan at kung mga ano-ano pang app. Ayan guys, please do be careful. Huwag kayong makate, huwag kayong porket walang ka-date gagawin na lahat para lang maghahabol para sa Feb 14. Ako guys, itulog nyo na lang yan. I-enjoy nyo na lang yung mga yung pagiging single nyo because right time, right place, darating rin yung the one for you. So yun guys, ayaw naman magpaka-bitter pero yun nga, happy Valentine's Day sa mga nanood. Para naging Halloween special ang Valentine's Day ko na content. But anyways guys,
Halloween na ba?
comment down below guys kung na-enjoy nyo yung ganitong reaction lang na nanonood lang ng mga creepy videos or mga horror real life videos na mga narration or story. Comment down below guys na ano yung pang gusto ba ipa-react sa amin next. And yun guys, don't forget guys to subscribe to EJ Barba. Like ko guys, link down below. So yun, meron rin kaming gagawing collab. So abangan nyo yan sa kanyang channel. Then guys, please do like and subscribe sa aking channel. Guys, we are aiming for 1,000 subscribers guys. Konting kembot na lang guys. Talaga mag 1K na tayo. Ayun guys. So guys, ako inaantok na rin siya. 1 AM na. So yun guys. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye guys.